once again, not what he wants. Alright, I'll let you down. I'll let you go, Jibbies. So I do have a few things to show you this week. As you know, I went to the doll show last weekend. I did bring my video camera, and I completely forgot to use it. So, I tried. Gold star for effort. Not very good. So, I did have fun at the doll show. 2 of the doll friends showed up. And we all found a few things that well, I'm never looking for specific dolls. I just let dolls happen. But they found specific dolls they were looking for. So that's nice. And I won one of the door prizes. You know, every entry gets a ticket and they draw the door prizes. And they draw the number and you go up and there's a table and they say, pick what you want. It's like, oh. And so I picked this. Partly because, you know, I like souvenir dolls in general. She has tiny little Poland stamped on the back of her leg. But I know I mainly picked her because I really like this cloth. Even with the yellow background, you know, yellow's not my color, but I still like this print. And I am resisting the temptation to take her outfit apart and sew a proper shirt from this cloth, just because I have so much cloth already that's actually cloth. I don't need to take stuff apart to resew. But she has hinged legs so she can sit. I haven't taken proper photos of her yet, but I will eventually. So that was the door prize doll. And then a doll that I bought, again, I'm not searching for specific dolls, but there are dolls that I have in mind I would like to get, or things that catch my eye. So there was actually, for $3, a Dolls of the World Kenyan Barbie that I got. And you say, wait, that's not the head on Dolls of the World Kenyan Barbie. This is. So obviously I went out like the next day and got one of the made-to-move bodies to match this head sculpt skin tone and swapped them right away. So this is Made-to-Move's head on Kenyan's body, and here is Kenya's head on Made-to-Move skin. Made-to-Move body with the correct skin tone. Close enough, closer than you'd expect for one of these 90s dolls to actually match a modern body. And she does use the Nichelle sculpt, which is one of my favorites. I am not super fond of her enormous eyes. I remember when this doll came out in, what, in the early 90s when this doll came out. Her enormous eyes still put me off a bit, but she does have flocked hair, which still has a dent in it from the headband she was wearing, so I've been trying to work with that. So here she is. And what she is wearing is another thing, the only other thing I bought at the doll show. Phantasm Creation was there looking for cardigans for her smaller BJDs. So she wanted a bulky, larger cardigan, but she picked up this bag of knit doll clothes and said, oh, these are very fine knit. Would you be interested in buying those for your Barbies? And so this was in there, and this cardigan. Oh no, this cardigan and this skirt were in there, and this shirt were in there. And when the woman running the booth saw that I was getting these, excuse me, cat hair, when she saw that I was getting these, she said, oh, there's a skirt. So I got the skirt for this, and the bag was marked $2.50 each, so I was prepared to pay $2.50 for each piece, making this $10 total for these like amazingly fine knits. Can you see the detail on this cardigan especially? So these are not cut and sewn knits, these are fully fashioned knits with increases and decreases. They did not knit the sleeves separately on this, it was all knit as one, and then there's a big seam under the arm, but still. That's a very fine knit. And again, this one with the, I don't know if that's called pont. I don't know anything about knitting. But the very finely detailed knits. So anyway, I expected I would be paying $5 for this outfit and $5 for this outfit. And the woman, turned out she was trying to get out of the doll show business. So I got this for $2.50. This $5 total for both of these, which is amazing. But there were also some knit dresses in the bag, and she said, can I ask you why you don't want these dresses? And I said, and she said, is it because you think they won't fit Barbie? Because I have some others that are in the right sizes, and I can guarantee you these will fit Barbie. And I'm like, oh, I just don't like knit dresses. Knit like that. I don't mind dresses sewn from knit cloth because real people wear that, but to me, just the idea of a fully knit dress just is a little unrealistic. I know my dolls aren't the most realistic things, but anyway. So I was trying to explain that, you know, knit dresses just aren't my thing. She said, oh, but you like Barbie, right? So I said, come here. And she like opened this box, and I thought she's going to offer me this big deal on weird Barbie clothes, but she was actually digging out some vinyl cases, you know, the like fold out cases that fold out to be little houses, and plus the storage cases. And she made me a great deal on them, and I had to say, I'm sorry, I don't do that kind of thing. So it's like, oh, I know, I restyle them, I change their clothes, and I change their hair, and I change their face. I don't display storage boxes. So of course I wished her well and hoped that someone would buy them, and the people I was with at the time were talking to like her son, who said, yeah, she's getting out of this. It's like, oh, a little guilty, but I shouldn't buy out of guilt. So anyway, so I didn't get a lot of stuff at the doll show, but I'm not too displeased with what I got at the doll show. And then we went to the thrift store, and I didn't find anything. They found some housewares. And then we went to Tuesday morning, and again, I didn't find anything. At least one of them found some housewares, but there was a DC Superhero Girls Frost doll for $7. I was really, really tempted, but I didn't get her. Then I got, after everyone went home, I got an email from one of them saying, hey, this thing I picked up in the thrift store, there were some others, could you go back for them? It's like, okay, so I went back on Monday, and I got Frost. Went ahead and made that trip over to Tuesday morning and got Frost. Because I was looking at her and I realized that what I wasn't liking about her primarily was her big ponytail. So I thought, well, I can just take her hair down. So I did, and that improved my opinion of her a lot. And the other thing I didn't like was her super staring eyes. Which, hold on. I went ahead and went over her lids with black paint just to make them a little heavier on the inner corners so she's not staring quite so much. I haven't taken a picture of her yet. I thought when I took a picture I would find a picture of her online to compare with so people could see what I've changed with the face. But then that super huge enormous box of Amazing I got from Flo had a Frost head in it. So you can see, I'm hoping the camera focuses, the changes I made just simply at making the inner eyelid black liner a bit heavier. I think it makes her look a lot more focused. Of course, I have no idea if she's looking at the camera. I will get comparison pictures eventually. Let me put her glasses back. And so I will get to the super huge box of Amazing from Flo, what little I managed to do with it in a moment. The other thing is, I went back on Monday to the thrift store. I got her at Tuesday morning, but another thing that had been in the thrift store when we were there on Saturday that I looked at and I thought, nah, I won't get it, even though Lindsay, Phantasm Creation, was saying you should get it, and do with it what you always do with it. There was a little mesh baggie of little pumpkins and gourds or squash, and you know I like to paint faces on those and put them on doll bodies, but I was just being a cheapskate, and $3 for that another project I didn't need, but it was still there on Monday and it was color of the week, so now I have this to eventually paint little faces on, and may or may not put them on bodies. I think they are cute just with faces on them sitting around also. So that's something else to add to my giant doll to do pile. But after the doll show we came back, and Phantasm Creation, she's a jewelry artist. You know, I had gotten this doll that I showed when I was dressing dolls in Cosmo Moore's sewing. She had the one earring. Well, Phantasm Creation came over and made the other earring. So these are, I don't know if the camera will be able to pick this up. These are actually French hook through the ear earrings, not just jab straight into her head. So she made the other earring and I got the pin vise and drilled a hole. So this doll has real earrings. And she's been holding her hair up over her head for like a couple days, so I've got to work to make it lay flat again. But, so that was cool. And another thing Phantasm Creation did was she had a whole big bag of destashed doll clothes, and I went through it, and I don't need them, but I picked some stuff out, and one of them was this skirt. So I just made this outfit to coordinate with the skirt. Because I liked the outfit that this buddy had been wearing, but it was a little too blue and yellow to really feel like I fit in with my dolls, but now, here we go. And then, early yesterday I was going to get some acne cream, 10% benzoyl peroxide on Lithe Grandma's legs. Because they have stains. The original doll was wearing like black leggings with riding boots, so where the leggings and the boots made contact, the boots squish the leggings up against the legs, they are stained. So I was going to dig out my benzoyl peroxide and get her in the window to get those stains bleached out, and I absolutely could not find my benzoyl peroxide. I remember the last time I looked for it, I couldn't find it initially, but I dug and I dug and I dug, and it was where I thought it was supposed to be, just a little bit lower. So I dug and I dug and I dug, and I emptied that entire box, and it wasn't there. So I emptied two or three other boxes where it could have been, and it wasn't there. So I have no idea what special place I put my benzoyl peroxide in, but I was able to buy another pack today. Although it occurred to me that there's a process for bleaching out like old yellowed computer equipment called, it's just called there's a brand name Retrobrite, but it's just generically called retrobriting. And a lot of people who do DIY Retrobrite use the bleach, the 2-part bleach. Or do they use? They use bleach from bleaching your hair somehow. I don't know if they use just the bleach part or if they use the bleach and the cream. And they can bleach that and UV light, they can bleach out the yellow. So I don't know if it's possible to use hair bleach somehow, make a cream out of it, and then use that to bleach the stains out of doll legs, or if that's only good for de-yellowing. I will maybe research eventually, but right now I will be putting the regular acne goo on her leg, although it's supposed to cloud up and start raining for 3 or 4 days, so I will get her legs bleached eventually, but maybe not this week. And then the big box of Wow from Flo. I have been messing with this stuff, but I haven't really done much with it because it's kind of overwhelming. I did, just out of curiosity, I got Tulabelle out of her box and was just seeing if I had anything that could even vaguely fit her. Of course, all of the MSD size, and of course Tiffany Taylor is just too big. These are actually Barbie clothes. This is the shirt I am ever so slowly working on, the shirt pattern to share for Kirby, but as you can see, it fits a 16-inch doll pretty well. And I actually had one pair of Tonner size, I think these were actually old enough to be considered jean size shoes. I had one pair of shoes to spare. Most of these end up on dolls with larger feet, like Gems and CoverGirl dolls and some action figures. Occasionally Monster High, they don't fit terribly well. So I got her outfit changed. I'm going to have to work with her a little more to make her more my style, and also just to get the grooves out of her hair from where she was in the package. I'm not sure if I'm going to straighten her hair or curl it. And I've been looking up pictures of this doll, and there was one where somebody just repainted her eyebrows so they were at a different angle, and that changed her expression a lot. I always feel like Integrity dolls are a little too glam for me, a little too over me. So I've got to find a way to make her a little kookier. But I will, I'm determined. And then the only other absolute thing I've done with the stuff from Flo is usually she stands right here, the Sunset Malibu Christie head off the doll I managed to thrift a few years ago, amazingly. I'd had her on a custom painted body. And even though I think the skin tone match is really, really good, I'm really proud of the skin tone match between this and the head, I was kind of terrified to do anything with it because of the fear of paints, chips, and scrapes. You see, actually, you know, in the elbow where it's almost inevitable, it's really not bad there, and only mildly there. And on the edge of the knee, it's a little bit, but there are some nicks in the paint, and since I didn't do the super glue protection on the top of the neck thing like John figured out, there's places where the paint on the neck stuck to the inside of the vinyl. But that body flow scent that I initially thought was Uhura, but people corrected me it wasn't. It was Selma Dupar James from the Harlem Renaissance collection. Anyway, that body matches that head really, really, really well. It's not perfect. I actually think that my paint job is a better match, but I can actually play with this doll now without being too worried about accidentally destroying her paint. So I just put her back in what she had been wearing because I was doing it fast. So I will sit down and find all the clothes in the world for her now, because now I don't have to worry about paint damaging. I might recurl her hair too, now that I know how to make a better hair texture too. So that's, I think this is going to be a fairly quick video because all my big video amazement was in the box opening I posted yesterday. And again, I have a lot I'm going to be able to do for a while because today is May 1st and I am starting my 3 months of no doll buying again. I mean 3 months of no thrifting, 3 months of no dolls from Walmart, 3 months of no ordering dolls online. I can trade for dolls. I have some doll trades going on that I think I will be finally finishing soon, but I've actually already started those trades. So again, I don't count those because if I had been on the ball and able to get my end of the trade done faster, I probably would have had them already. So that's a good way to reason it out, right? So hopefully I will have plenty to show next week. The thing is, it's starting to get hot and I'm really enjoying wearing these dresses I've made, but I've only made like 3 or 4 of them, so I really want to sew more of these, and I want to sew stuff for the kid, and I need to sew the trade stuff, and basically I gotta learn to better manage my time because I know I can do all this stuff if I just get off the computer and do it. So maybe now that there's so much sunlight, sure, maybe I can do it now. But so I'm hoping next week I will have new dolls and new clothes for dolls and just all sorts of stuff to show. But as always, I won't know until next week. Thanks for hanging around and we'll see you next week. Bye.